We are back with a brand new video. Happy NBA Finals Day. I'm super excited to watch the finals. I am on my trip right now, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record, but I do want to get a video out to you guys. Expect like probably 1 or 2 videos over the span of these next 10 days, but I'll be back in like 10 days and you're going to start get to get the consistent uploads for sure. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But I do want to give you guys a small off-season mini preview type of thing, especially because there's been a really big debate over Twitter and stuff like that about Tyler Herro and his status on the Heat next season. So I'm going to be talking about whether he should be kept next season, whether he should be traded, untouchable or not, like all this type of debate that's been going on. I did make a poll about this. It was like 56% of people said that they should trade him, and 44% of people that said that they should keep him, and it was like a pretty good sample size. So yeah, that was a very interesting poll. I'm going to be talking about that. But yeah, make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's get right into it, man. So Tyler Herro had some pretty interesting quotes in his end of season presser, where he was talking about a lot of different things. He was asked about, whether he wants to start in the future, because he's won 6th Man of the Year and he's been doing really well at that. And he said, yeah, it's his 4th year. He would love to start. He feels like he's earned it, and he'll see what happens. Now I'm not mad at him for saying this at all. I think that he has definitely earned the right to start on a team. With this play last season, he averaged 21 last season. Anyone averaging 21 points per game, in their mind, if they want to start, they can deserve to start, because he's averaging 21 points per game on good efficiency. So yeah, I have no problem with Tyler Herro saying this. He also said that someone asked him a question about whether he's comfortable signing his extension, or when that's going to happen, and he said he's not sure. He has to talk to his agent. But yeah, the whole thing about starting, a lot of Heat fans were like mad about that. Like, nah, he deserves the right to start, bro. Like, he was really good last season. But having said all of that, I do have to say some stuff about Tyler Herro. If you are a Tyler Herro stan, then click off my video, please, because I do not want to hurt anyone's feelings in this video, especially when you're a stan of a player, because that's the worst type of fan that I know. Like, if you stand up guys so hard that you're not willing to open your eyes and like look at the different possibilities for trading him, then I can't talk to you, because like you're just blinded by your infatuation with this guy. So I love Tyler Herro. I'm a fan of Tyler Herro, but I'm not a Herro stan. So I'm going to be giving my objective opinion about this situation. I do think for the right price, Herro can be traded, and I did tweet yesterday that for the right price, man, which I think included 6 players that I had in my tweet, anyone but Jimmy and Bam can go. And I think those players were Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, and Damian Lillard. So 5 players. But out of those 5, I probably expect 3 to be realistic targets. The shooting guards, Mitchell, Beal, and LaVine. I feel like Irving and Lillard are both like it's kind of more speculation than anything. I don't think Lillard is going to leave. I think the Blazers have probably made it so that the Blazers want to keep him. And then as far as the Nets situation goes, I mean, there has been talk saying that they could not take his team option, or he could not pick up his player option or something like that, because he doesn't like his situation. But we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I think that's very unlikely that he goes to Miami. But those 3, I think they have a good likelihood of being in trade packages: Mitchell, Beal, and LaVine, because Mitchell, the Jazz, have had a disappointing season, and everyone, it's kind of a consensus that they have to break up that duo of Mitchell and Gobert. Now a lot of people expect Gobert to be traded, but there has been some Mitchell rumors as well. Bradley Beal is a free agent this season. Whether he picks up his massive player option, or signs an extension, or leaves the Wizards in a sign-in trade with another team, is yet to be seen. And then the same with Zach LaVine. I don't think Zach LaVine has a player option. Well, he might, but I'm not too sure about that. But I think the Bulls can either offer him a max, or he can basically walk for nothing, or be signed and traded to somewhere else, because I don't think anyone on his target list has the money to sign him outright. Like the Los Angeles Lakers don't have a max contract to give to Zach LaVine, so it'd have to be a sign and trade. So those 3 guys are the most realistic scorers available in the market that the Heat could go out and get. And I do think that, when you look at the Heat's needs, one of the biggest needs is half-court offense and scoring. especially a true 3-level scorer. And I don't think the Heat really have a guy like Jimmy Butler is a really good scorer, and he's shown that he can be a #1 option on a team. But Jimmy Butler's jump shot has been always inconsistent, and that, you know, even that pull-up three, which I defended that shot from Jimmy. I didn't say it was a bad shot, but, you know, that percentage is a lot higher for it to go in if it's, I don't know, Zach LaVine taking that three, because his jump shot is a lot more consistent. You know what I'm saying? But obviously Jimmy's a stud. I'm not knocking Jimmy's scoring ability, but I'm just saying that he's not a 3-level scorer. I think he scores at 2 levels really, really well, and then his 3rd level, which is a 3-point line, is pretty inconsistent. So, but that's fine though, because if you can put him alongside a guy who can score at 3 levels, then it can be great. So, I mean, I really do think that for the right price, which is any of those 3 guys, in my opinion, I think Herro can go, and I think Herro will have to go in any of those trade packages. Now, will those trades happen? I'm not too sure. Like, I know, like, a lot of people will say we were just 1 shot away from going to the finals, and despite having some of these guys injured and not play, and I don't think that, you know, Pat will be as forced to move on from some of these guys as quickly. I think, you know, he'll take a slow, cautious approach, especially because we were so close. I mean, yeah, I can get that, but like, we're acting like these other teams are just gonna sit and do nothing the whole free agency. Like, we're acting like the Sixers and the Bucks and the Nets are just gonna not get better. Like we gotta assume that these guys are gonna improve. Like, the Sixers are definitely gonna improve after their disappointing season. They have a very short window, especially with Harden there. The Bucks, you know, the Bucks are going to improve. They want to maximize Giannis's potential there. And then the Nets, I mean, KD and Kyrie, it's been a kind of a failure since they've gotten there. So they have to do something, dog, in order for them to win a championship. So you have to expect that these guys are going to, you know, come back and get better, especially because they had disappointing end to this their individual seasons. But I really do think that the Heat cannot just be complacent with their season. Like, I don't think small tweaks here and there can really, you know, make this team a championship favorite. Like, that's not going to happen. Especially because in the West, you know, the Clippers are going to come back stronger with their injuries. You know, being gone like Kawhi and PG, and like as much as we clown the Lakers, they still have LeBron and Anthony Davis, and they'll have to figure that out. But I really like Darvin Ham's hiring. But all these guys are going to keep strengthening. It's not like the Heat are just going to be the only ones getting better. So you have to make sure that you get better and not just be complacent this offseason. So I don't want to see it like any like by minor tweaks, I mean changing the 9th or 10th man. Like, I don't think that's going to be enough. Like, you have to do more than that. And I think the starting lineup cannot be the same. And whether that's Herro being inserted, whether that's a new power forward next to Bam, like, something has to change in my opinion, because in the Celtics series, as good as PJ was for us, he hustled and he fought his butt off in that series. He was an energy spark, like a battery. Like, he was so good for us with his physicality. But as far as his offensive production, I think the Celtics ignored him a lot. I saw this clip on Twitter where, like, every time it was a pick and roll with PJ, they would always, you know, leave him open, especially if PJ was popping out to the wing, because, you know, PJ's not a shooter from the wing. He can only shoot from the corner, and if he's not shooting from the corner, he's getting into the paint for a floater. So he's kind of like a 1 or 2 trick pony here and there. So that's something that we're gonna have to address. I don't think PJ Tucker should be starting on a championship team. Like, I mean, I really like PJ Tucker. I would love him to come off the bench. But as a championship starting power forward, especially next to Bam, I'm not a huge fan of it, even though I think he's exceeded a lot of expectations for himself last season. But I think he's only going to get older. What is he going to be, 37, 38 now? So, like, yeah. And then at the shooting guard position, as much as I like Strus, as much as I like Robinson, whoever started for us last season, I think it has to be a 3-level scorer, or it has to be Herro. And for those who are saying Herro's a 3-level scorer, I can see that, but I think Herro's scoring in isolation is a lot more limited than a guy like Donovan Mitchell or Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine. I think Herro is a much better player off the ball than on the ball. I think we saw that because in the playoffs, Herro kept getting blitzed and double teamed, and I know he was injured in the Boston series, but even in the Philly series, it was rough for him apart from game 1, because the Sixers, every time Herro had the ball, were sending 2 at him, and he didn't really know what to do because his handle was not tight. You know, his vision has improved for sure. I think Herro's playmaking has definitely improved. but I still think his handle is a shaky spot for him, and he kept getting ripped. As well as, you know, in isolation, I don't think he's, yeah, like I said, his ball handling ability is strong enough to break down a defender consistently. Like he's done it he's shown flashes of it, but as far as being consistent bucket getter in isolation, I don't think he's shown enough to me. I think a lot of his baskets are off of screen assists, like Bam sets a screen, he pulls up, or like Bam sets a screen, dribble handoff, or like he gets the ball, passes, cuts, and gets a layup. Or like I think it's a lot of off-ball action for Herro, or a lot of like help that like our offensive players give him for him to score, which is fine. Like if he scores 21, he scores 21. But I'm just saying, as far as the isolation score, I don't think he's at that level yet. And the reason that I would be okay with trading Herro for a Mitchell or a Beal or a Levine is that you're getting better with these trades. Like I don't think people understand. Like I saw a trade, I think it was from the Salt Lake Tribune. It was the Heat get Mitchell, the Jazz get Herro, Strus, Robinson, Tucker, Yurtseven, and like three first-round picks, if I'm not mistaken. That's what the trade was. Now, personally, I was in the minority, but I would probably do this trade. And the reason is, I mean, you're not really giving up much besides Herro. The 3 picks are fine. Like those are 3 first-round picks, but those 3 picks are probably going to be what, bottom end of the first round, like, because the Heat are, unless it's like the 2027 pick, that pick maybe, you know, might be a valuable pick, but the 2022 pick, the 2024 pick, these picks are going to be pretty low. As far as the role players, I think Strus and Robinson are always replaceable. I think you can find great shooters. They're a dime a dozen in this league, especially in college and undrafted stuff. Like, I don't think people trust the Heat's development system enough. Like, they praise it a lot, Heat fans do. Like, we always talk about our culture and how our development program is top notch, but we don't trust it to, you know, replace talent who leaves. Like, I don't think we trust our development program enough. Like, there's no way we can't replace Max Strus, bro. We can absolutely replace him. Like, he's not a guy that is just like only one team can have. Like, nah, like there's so many shooters out there. Like that's like the most coveted asset on the market. So Strus and Robinson, you can send them to. I'm not too worried about them. Tucker, like I said, I would like to keep him because I think he's a really good player to put on a championship pushing team. But if it's between, you know, keeping Tucker and getting a guy like Donovan Mitchell, I'm trading for Donovan Mitchell. And then Yurtseven, I mean, yeah, he has really good potential, but at best he's going to be a backup center for us. I don't see the Heat moving Bam to the 4. So it's like, you know, you're going to trade your backup center next season, because I think Yurtseven is right now, I think Dedmon's going to leave. So I think Yurt will probably be the backup next season. But you're trading a backup center, two shooters, an aging Swiss Army knife 4, and Tyler Herro, and 3 bottom-end first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell. I think you do this trade. I really do think you do this trade, because I don't think that people understand that the trades are going to have to hurt if you're going to get top-tier talent. Like, you're not going to be fleecing teams left and right. I've seen mock trades where Heat fans are trying to draw up trades without giving up Herro for Donovan Mitchell. Like cut it out, bro. Like, the Jazz are not stupid. Like, we gotta be better as a fan base. You can't just try to fleece teams without giving up anyone in return. Like, a lot of fan bases want something, but they're not willing to give up anything in return. And I think that's a problem with some of these Heat fans that I'm seeing. Like, you're not gonna get a 3-level scorer without giving up Tyler Herro. Like Tyler Herro is in these trade packages 100%. Now, as far as all the role players and the picks, yeah, we can figure that out as far as, you know, what to make the money match and all that stuff. But I don't think this is anything that's, you know, insane. Like, you're giving up a bunch of role players in Herro. You can replace those role players any other day. Like, there's very stupid GMs out there. You don't expect to fleece a team, especially the Boston Celtics. Danny Ainge, as much as we hate him in Miami, is a good GM. And yeah, so like, I still think that these role players can be found in any other place. Like we had none in Robinson, right? None is gone. Robinson is out of the rotation. We replaced them with Vincent and Strus. Like, that's just how elite this development team is. Like, I trust them to find guys that can just come out of nowhere, and no matter what situation you're in, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can lose these guys and just get guys back in undrafted pool, or with second round picks, or like trading for pieces, signing players in free agency. Like, I expect the Heat to get role players like nobody else, because that's what they're best at doing. So I would do the trade for a guy like Mitchell, or Beal or Levine if it was Herro and role players and picks. Like, I don't think that people understand how good the development team is. As far as people who say they want to keep Herro and the fact that they think that he might average 25 next season, I mean, hopefully if he does get kept, then we can see that. But I think you got to maximize Jimmy Butler's window, which is why I'm a main. I'm very for making a trade for a 3-level scorer because I think Jimmy Butler's window is something that is priority number one. I mean, this guy has shown that he can carry a team to the Eastern Conference Finals twice, to the NBA Finals once, and he can be the number one guy, man. He can be the number one guy for sure. And I do think that he's going to need some help around him. You know, you got to get your main priority number one is to get Jimmy Butler some help. And that includes a 3-level scorer. Like, that includes a guy who can create a shot easily, score from all 3 levels, be a guy down the stretch you give the ball to and you have no problem with him getting you a bucket. Just be a bucket getter in the half court. And that's one of the main priorities. Another one is obviously, you know, a permanent front court pairing next to Bam. As much as Bam, people criticize Bam, I saw his usage rate in the playoffs. He wasn't even top 5 on the team. Like, that's how low it was. So, I mean, yeah, people are going to criticize Bam for being aggressive, but he's not even getting the ball, bro. And for people who are saying he needs to demand the ball, I mean, there's so many clips that I can find of him being wide open with his hands up underneath the basket and people just missing him. So, like, we definitely have to do a better job of finding our big man, for sure. But that's a different story. But yeah, I would definitely try to do any trade that would maximize Jimmy Butler's window, even if it means that we have to give up our budding star in Tyler Herro. Like, I'm fine with that. I hope if Herro gets traded, we'll wish him all the best. But it's part of basketball. It's a business, and we saw the Lakers did this when they got Anthony Davis. They traded away like 3 of their young pieces, like Ball, Ingram, Hart. Like, they traded all of them, and they got a championship out of it. I know it was in the bubble, but it was worth it. If you get a ring, I don't care what you trade, it's worth it. So that's the goal of the Heat, man. All you need is a ring, and whatever trade you do will be worth it at the end of the day. Another thing, we got to stop expecting Bam to be this 25 to 28 point scorer. He's not going to do that. Like, let Bam be Bam. I don't know why people all of a sudden have expected Bam to be this elite 3-level scorer. Like, he has shown the ability to shoot, but I've always seen Bam as a nice 20 and 10 guy who can play make. That's what I've seen Bam as, especially since when he came into the league. He didn't come into the league as this, great scorer. He came into the league as a role man, a lob threat who can protect the rim, and he's exceeded expectations by far with his time on the Heat. I think if Bam can be a nice, cool number 3 option who can average 20 and 10, I think you're set. I think you're fine. And you get a Jimmy Butler. You have a guy, who can be your number 1. You get a number 2 who can be like a 3-level scorer, like one of these Mitchells or Beals or Levines, and then Bam can be your number 3, a 20 and 10 guy, 18 and 10 guy who can play make, probably 3-4 assists per game, protect the rim, switch onto the perimeter, anchor the defense, run the break. You got a championship favorite in my opinion with those 3, and then you're probably going to keep Lowry in that situation too. So I think that's the move. I do think that's the move. A lot of people are not going to like it because, they love Tyler Herro and they love, and obviously who wouldn't, man? This guy is, he's kind of like the quintessential Miami player. Like he represents the style, the swag, like the confidence, the way he dresses, like the way he just presents himself. It's very Miami, and like a lot of people love him for that. But, on the court, he's a really good player, but if there was a way to maximize Jimmy Butler's window, and if it had to mean that I'm giving up Herro and some role players, then I'm doing it. So yeah, I mean, that's my take on it. Hopefully you guys agree. If you don't agree, please be civil in the comment section below. I don't want to see any arguments or whatnot. Like, be civil when you guys are disagreeing with me, because like that's the most fun way to debate basketball. When people are out here insulting each other and stuff like that, I don't have energy for all that, man. Just if you guys want to critique my opinions, do that in a civil manner. I'll respect every single direction that you guys go in. If you guys, because I'm a pretty open-minded person, man. If you give me a direction that is not trading Tyler Herro, but you can get better in the same way, then I'm all ears, because I do want to hear as many options as there is possible for the Heat to get better. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up the video there, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, probably another video for the next 10 days, then I'm gonna be consistent with it. But yeah, I'll see y'all later. As always, hit my second channel. Peace.